Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Captain's Chat. My name is Joe Delagrave. I'm one of the captains at USAWR, and today I am joined by Matt Milstead. Matt Milstead's a .5, been on the national team for a couple years, played some high-level rugby with Michigan, then down in Tampa, and so he's definitely been a part of a great part of the program and a great friend as well. So we'll get him on and get rocking and rolling. What's up, Matt?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, dude?
Hanging in
Man,
there.
I was just thinking I miss the days when we'd always connect when I moved back to Wisconsin. We'd always connect in Chicago.
Right.
I'd see you rolling in. You know, you'd sweet talk everyone, get those nice seats with the New York the New York Giants.
Yeah, baby.
Man, good. Those are good times.
Right on, man.
Yeah. How you been?
Yeah, man. Just good family. You know, family's good. We're all healthy.
Yeah.
Working from home. Been home since last March. So, you know, working, you know, no end in sight as to when we're going to go back. So it's been nice.
Yeah.
Because like I know you said, you know, having more time with my family than I've ever had.
No, totally, man. I mean, that's the ticket for sure. I think like for a while there though in 2020, maybe I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months in, I'm going like, I miss those breaks. I need those breaks. Makes me a better dad, a better husband.
Yeah.
To get away and be able to, you know, usually the breaks are rugby, so it's not necessarily a break. It's just kind of a different world. But what about I'm curious as far as there we go. We got the fans on already. Yeah. Go Thunder. Grand Rapids Thunder. So curious because I worked from home before this. And I've been in the office as well. I don't do well in an office setting, but I mean, do you miss the office at all? Like, obviously it's pretty normal now to be working from home, but throughout that whole process, was it something that you missed?
Well, you know, it's like obviously I missed the interaction with people. You know, that was kind of nice having, you know, interacting with people and just communicating that way. But you know, at first it was definitely a transition just because you know, trying to do everything you know, over the computer versus more face to face, you know, with what I do. And honestly, I've kind of gotten used to this, and it's quite nice. And I could continue working from home and be perfectly fine with it. You know.
Yeah.
It's you know, because then before I didn't have to get up and get dressed in the morning and then drive into work and deal with, you know, up here in Michigan, you know, it's like you never know, you know, it's going to be, you know, 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 inches of snow you're driving through. But all that, you know, is gone now. So you don't have to deal with any of that. So it's nice. You know, I look out and it's snow everywhere, and, you know, the roads are bad, but I get to stay home. So yeah, man, I've enjoyed being home, and but just I kind of miss the interactions with people and stuff like that, because that's kind of nice, you know. And then plus, you know, just getting up and getting dressed. Now I can just roll into work and, you know, with the shirt on, but in my boxers, you know. It's like,
dude.
It's from the, you know, the chest up, and, you know, who knows what everything else I'm wearing, but that's kind of nice. I went there, right?
No, totally. I mean, you're speaking the truth, man. Because like, it took me. I didn't wear pants for like jeans, like nice. I wore pants, but like shorts and athletic type stuff. But like, man, I didn't wear jeans for the longest time because, like, as a quad, they're the least favorite things to put on. Like, they're
ain't that the truth?
It's
man. Break your belt loops.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to pull, you turn and pull, you turn and pull, you turn and pull.
Right. Man, yeah, it's a rolling every way.
Frenchie Frenchie wants to know if you got the boxers or no. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Good old Frenchie.
It's not a show unless Frenchie joins, right?
Nah, exactly. He's kind of runs the show pretty much, is what he does.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Frenchie and all the people in Texas are doing better after, man, what a nightmare they had for a week with
we got a blast of Wisconsin, Michigan weather.
Yeah, and they're not built for it.
No, I know, right? Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad everyone's sounds like everyone's safe and healthy down there, but
Yeah, yeah,
crazy times for sure.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
well, let's jump into a little bit of rugby. We'll talk a little bit of rugby here, but love to talk about some other topics. But when did you get your start in rugby? Like how'd you get hurt? When did you get your start? And was it? Let's talk a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So I got hurt in 1995, car accident. I was going into it was summer of 95 and fell asleep driving. Um, and finished my senior year. Then I went to college at Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio.
Right
And
state, yeah.
so, yeah, so I went there mainly really for the accessibility, just because uh, you can get to every class underground. So it's kind of
Yeah.
nice, with the
Yeah, they
snow
had
and
the
stuff.
tunnels, they had the tunnels and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And so after, there for a quarter or so, I met a couple guys that played wheelchair rugby for Wright State. And yeah, so I went out for like a practice or something. And that's kind of where it started, was there at Wright State. But I didn't pursue it a whole lot. I wasn't really competitive to the point where
Yeah.
where I feel like I'm
What
at.
year was this? What year was this at? This was
Man,
in
this
the
was
late
like
90s?
I would say 2007, 8,
Okay. Okay.
2008. Yeah, around that year. Uh, and yeah, so I just, I went to practices and things like that, and played with a couple guys from Ohio. And after, continuing going to school, I kind of stopped playing. They moved the team up to Columbus, and it was like an hour drive, so I didn't really pursue it.
Yeah.
Just a lot, driving an hour, hour and a half. So then it was in 2012 when I moved to Grand Rapids,
Okay.
where Leslie, she's from here. So I moved
Yeah.
up here, and I met Colin Sullivan and I went out to practice. He invited me to come out to practice, and where I was met up with Eric Chase, Nick
Yeah.
Long, got to play with other guys, Scott Severin, Dave Minjan, all those guys that have been around the league for years, Andy
Yeah. Yeah.
Zimmer. And so that was just really, all those guys were very into rugby at that point, very
Right. Right.
competitive playing, and it just kind of, I absorbed it, and yeah, so it was 2012 was kind of where it started, up here, and then got to. I'll never forget seeing Lars came out to a practice or something, and never really got to experience, seeing someone, with that much speed and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, because he was just fresh off a D1 championship with Portland,
Yep.
and then moved out to be with his wife, his now wife, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Jen. And so yeah, and then you got to experience a little bit of high level rugby and bit the bug, huh?
Yeah,
Bit
that's exactly right. I remember actually playing you down in St. Louis one time, and it was like one of my early years, and I think I was in the box, for more. I'm getting close to, you know, 5-10 seconds, and you had just said, "Hey, you might want to hop out. You're going to get a penalty on this." And so, yeah, this was in the early Joe where I
Yeah.
didn't know you, but yeah, that was your nicer side coming off. You're like, you might want to hop out.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got a nicer side. Yeah.
right, yeah. So I never told you that one, man. That was something I've been holding on to. So now's the
That's
time
cool. Yeah,
to let
yeah.
it out, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to experience that. It's Grand Rapids were D2, and so it was quite an experience transitioning to that higher level rugby. But yeah, it's been great.
I mean, what was that experience like with, I think a lot of people are going, like I have what it takes. Like I can go to tryouts and compete. And like, I think it takes that mentality. Like that's a good mentality to have, but then you get to maybe a tryout and you go, okay, I've got something to work on, or where am I at? Like what was that kind of experience like for you and you're getting there?
Yeah, that was a real eye opening when it was 2017 when I had my tryout. We had just come off of pretty good year. and coming down, to Lakeshore to try out, it was like I had just it was like fast paced. I wasn't even ready. I think it was just a big eye opening because um, a lot of the guys there, have been playing D1 ball, and
Yeah.
I felt like, be honest with you, I felt kind of out of place. I just like I just hadn't been used to playing at that type of speed, and knowing the game, not just versus where we were used to. You just go in the box and you sit and you wait for the ball to come in, when you're playing defense versus
Right.
running. Now you're running plays, you're running zones. And so all of that was something completely new to me. And it was a real eye opening, but a challenge that I knew that I had to put a lot of work into learning the game at that level if I wanted to, get any better. And then just trying to still balance life and family and everything else. So
Yeah, we'll jump into that for sure. Tryouts is such a weird time for new guys to come. Frenchie's making a little. You probably, you were probably on the key for like 3 seconds. I'm like, hey, pop out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but tryouts is always a weird time because I think like probably like the reputation that maybe some veterans get when at tryout time is like, oh, no one's really talking to me and I feel kind of left out, and like, but like tryouts is kind of a weird deal because it's like we're trying out too, and
right.
literally, you got guys in your class, probably 5 or 6 guys in your class that want to come in and take your spot, right? And so like it's, they're hunting your spot down, and so I think it's a little bit more and then you jump into a camp, like you made a team, then you jump into a camp, and then hopefully that shifts into like you're a teammate and we need to help teach you the game and bring you alongside, and hopefully that was true for you as well.
Yeah, it really was. I was surrounded by, a lot of great knowledge, Butler, Lee, Joe, all just, all those, just everyone that had been in the game, been playing at that level. And then, all the high pointers trying to make sure that, I'm doing my roles as a low pointer. So, it was an awesome experience. And, everyone was just always, great about trying to give me feedback and things like that. I'll never forget just even where I was used to getting some help getting gloved up and stuff like that. Chad Cohn was like, look, come on, man, we'll show you how to glove it up and all that. So that was all, just good experience. But after having that support, I took it back with me, and it just has continued from that point, which is, that's just tough love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at it like, just tough love,
Yep. That's definitely part of it for sure. 100%. Let's talk a little bit about, we'll get into maybe some other rugby stuff later, but I want to talk a little bit about like work and this conversation of work. I think a lot of, national team athletes or athletes that play rugby, it's, when we're there, it's either, a recreational sport, you're playing at a high level and it's basically your job, but then having a career outside of the sport, I think is really important, especially for players in the US that aren't making a living wage. And so, man, like, what was that like for, because you got your job like right after college, and you've been working in that ever since, or how's that been for you?
Yeah, I worked for Social Security Administration. So I started right after I graduated college in 2026. And so, yeah, it's like I just went right in from college to there. But then being able to, I guess I wasn't aware of what it was going to be like when I went and did the tryouts, and then trying to balance, because there's a commitment to that. So it definitely taught me a lot about time management, being able to, because I had my roles at work, and then when I got home from work, I had responsibilities of just helping around the house, but also, with the kids and the family. And then, I had to train and I had to work out. And so all of that, I, it helped me to balance, my day out,
Yeah.
it gave me responsibility as far as like being able to commit myself to the team. We were having to watch videos and things like that. And so, um, you know, it, I feel like when you have a lot of downtime, there's just a lot that you can do a lot more if you have some structure. And I felt
Yeah.
like rugby was giving me that structure, but just being able um, to learn how to build that into my schedule. Because when you get home from work, you're tired, but
Yeah.
you have to continue, those responsibilities, whether it's rugby or training, and then also, but just spending time with our with my family, the kids, the boys.
Yeah.
So got to get that Lego time in,
Oh yeah, gotta build
right?
those Legos, man. That
Right?
creative time. Yeah, now my kids are, I'm playing basement basketball with them with like the little Tykes hoop and maybe like a door hanger
Yeah,
type thing in the basement, and
right.
they're just dunking on me, talking trash, and
Yeah,
stealing
you're
my
doing bench
phones.
presses and balls are coming out your heads.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, you brought something up that I think is important, and you talk about work-life balance, and a family, and we'll get into maybe the genesis of your family in a second. But the question that I have, and I think that is interesting, is like when you made that commitment, when you go to try out, you make the team, and then from there you kind of see the list of training camps you need to be at, and competitions, and working out with strength and conditioning coach and nutrition, and like the whole gamut. Isn't just you, it's you and Leslie and your family, and like it's a family commitment. Can you talk a
Right.
little bit about like it's not just you, it's the whole family? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah. You're right. A lot of it was, communicating with Leslie, and she was 100% supportive of that. She knew, that schedule comes out that, early on when you make, and it says, this is what these are the days of your camps. You're going to be gone this long. These are the tournaments you could
Yeah,
potentially be going to. And so all of that was, discussed, and like, hey, if I'm going to do this, this is what it's going to be like. Because obviously I was away from work. So there was some time where I wasn't getting paid, but yeah, it's just, it is a lot, but it's something that, I, we just learned how to adjust. And it was just making sure I was doing my part, such as, you know, when I was home, I wasn't just checking
yeah,
out after
yeah,
camp. It was just making sure that I still, um, you know, gave that time to my family and the boys, because they're growing up at that age. Beckham was, I think, around 3, and Crew was just born. So it was like, when I was home, it was like I had to put on the, that fatherhood responsibility, and just make sure that I
yeah,
was contributing there. But I mean, it was it I had that support. I think it's something you just have to discuss, you know, make sure that it's not a surprise of how long you might be gone or whatever, which I'm sure you and April had those discussions, like, this is what's going to be going on
yeah.
over the years, is how long I'm going to be gone.
No, totally, totally. Let's tell us a
My
little bit
work
about
my work was super supportive though too.
that's huge. It's huge
Yeah,
when you have
so they
everyone
they
supporting that.
completely
Yeah,
supported me. My
yeah,
coworkers were always encouraging me, and so that was good having that.
yeah, absolutely. What so how are the kids?
Yeah, kids are good. Beckham's 6 and Crew's 3. So uh, they're growing, they're doing well. Like I said, Beckham's at that point where he's able to take on the Legos and all that stuff. So it's kind of fun, getting to play with him. And I was kind of looking forward to playing some sports, maybe some some t-ball or some basketball.
Yeah.
I grew up playing sports, and Leslie always played sports growing up. So we both have that, that drive.
Yeah.
So it's, but right now it's kind of locked down. So
On the burner. Yeah. Hopefully
yeah, so
we're getting there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it's like up here in Michigan, and you can't really get out like you can down in Texas or Florida to get outside and do anything. It's like, wheelchairs and snow, and
Yeah, February might
how
be my
that
least
goes.
favorite. Yeah, it's like my least favorite month in the winter. And
Right,
you got Christmas, you got the fall, and you got Christmas, and it's all festive and fun. And then
right.
January, you're like, all right, whatever. And then February, it's like, all right, this needs to stop.
This sucks. Yeah, exactly.
This needs to, yeah, there's no doubt
Right.
about it,
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it's been right now. So it'll be good once it gets. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it seems like sports are starting to learn how to adjust and things like that, and we can get him into something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, family's good.
Awesome. What's it like being a dad with a disability? For in your eyes, is it something that you've struggled with in the past, or something that like it just kind of is what it is, or how is that for you?
Honestly, I mean, it's been great. It's like, I mean, obviously, there's things there. I'm like, I think about, like when we're, think about down the road playing ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How am I going to play catch? With the glove and all that, if I'm passing ball and stuff like that. I think about those things. I think most guys in chairs probably would think about that.
Yeah.
But it's for me, I feel like, he just knows me as, dad in a chair, and, it's like he'll draw little pictures, and, he'll have mom standing up and me in my chair with a little, little crayon, and the chair is all goofy looking, but it's just, that's just how it is. And it's like, it's kind of cool to see that. You come home with a picture to hang up, and it's like me in my little chair. It's funny, stick figure. So I feel like I show him the same love and all that, but it's just been, for me, it's been okay. There's been, I know there's obviously those things in my own head that I want to shoot basketball and all that, but it's just, I think those are things within me. But I feel like I think about things as far as like how I'll be able to contribute to him playing sports and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm on the same page. I think your hands down. As a guy, you think about some of that stuff, but and then you realize like love and presence. Not presence. Well, presence probably helped too, but not like actual being present in the moment.
I think that's exactly right. I think I'm just trying to always be there. You know what I mean? Like if he wants to do something, I want to make sure that I'm giving him that time. Whatever it may be.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. No, man. I think that's awesome. In our community, I feel like we don't talk or maybe strive or push people to have that work-life balance, especially on the elite side. But I think it's something that's really important. I know it's stuff that like some of our veterans have talked about with, Chuck Aoki pursuing his PhD, and Jeff Butler being a successful entrepreneur, and Eric Newby doing the same thing with kids and work-life balance with rugby, and in Michigan, there's Grand Rapids. When Chase was playing there as well, Eric Chase, he's done it with kids and a job and rugby. He's done it in the past, and of course, you got some other players there that do it as well that might not have played in the high level, but have done a lot for the sport. Dave's one of those guys. Commissioner, and it seems like you guys have had a really positive atmosphere in that neck of the woods. But is it something that you see our community needing to do more of, or pushing for that, advocating for that?
Yeah, I mean, all those guys you mentioned, Newbie, Butler, Chuck, Dave, Eric, and Nick Long, and all those guys are all dads, and they're working or pursuing their dreams as being successful and stuff like that. So I think having those guys out in the community is what helps even when, because all those guys still play rugby, and just having them around helps to show other guys, girls, whatever, that you can still be, you can still play sports, you can still play rugby, you can still have a full-time job, still
Yep.
commit to your family. And it's good to have that even within your local community, that, individuals can see that we're not just, only playing rugby, that, or playing sports, that we're doing other things, that we're just living normal lives, because I think that's really what I strive to do. And rugby helps me have that balance. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what gives me more structure in my
Yeah.
day to day. I appreciate having that, well, I got to do this on Wednesday. I got to do this, this is practice day or whatever, I got to train this day. So it's good to have that structure.
Yeah. It's never a bad thing too with moving forward, and what do you stay in shape for if you're not competing or whatever, and it's like stay in shape for the kids, stay in shape to make sure that we can keep up with them. That's for sure.
I know, right? It's usually it's like when I get around those guys, it's like, yeah, how's the family? What's going on?
Yeah.
Kind of hear more about what the kids are doing, stuff like that. So, it's just another way to relate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what was your biggest maybe tip or biggest piece of advice, or what was the biggest thing that you did to kind of go from not playing for a little while when you moved, and then playing again in 2012, and kind of pushing in the next 4, 5, 6 years onto the national team? What was that turning point for you? What was that nugget that you kind of stuck with?
I would say more about I think that commitment, just to determining whether or not this is the path I wanted to go down. But I think it was just being surrounded by a lot of competitive, other players, and just setting myself a goal of trying to get better. I didn't start, even when I was on that Grand Rapids team. So it was, I like that competitive, part of, feeling like I've got, to work on improving. So
Yeah.
I felt like setting myself those goals of trying to learn the game better, and just trying to absorb watching the other guys that had been playing the game for years. So just being able to watch them and then learn from them, and then try to become better myself. I felt like that was like my point of trying to get better at at the game, and then trying to build from there, build from that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What was your favorite moment on the national team?
Favorite
memory, trip.
What's that?
Favorite moment, memory, trip.
There was a couple good ones. I can't say that I didn't enjoy hanging out in Nick Saban's office.
Man, that was pretty cool. That was
pretty extreme, getting a tour of Alabama. That was kind of cool when we had that visit. But
really neat.
I'll never forget getting that call from coach telling me that, hey, we need you to come out to GB with us.
Yeah.
That was pretty that was a moment that I'll never forget, experience. Yeah. And then seeing things like my chair getting all just jacked up from decorating,
We shouldn't have gave the stuff to Frenchie. Yeah.
I know, right, man.
They
decorated my chair. Yeah, those were all good memories. But I know what it is. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But just those were all good things that I enjoyed. And plus just being surrounded by so much talent and trying to build from that. But that was probably some of my better moments. Getting to go to GB and Canada and things like that. Those were all moments that I won't ever forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's
Seeing Wheeler's leg hanging up straight from falling out of the bed, having a spasm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like one of those moments you had to be there to see it.
Yeah. What
Falling
what
out.
trip did you room with him?
What's that? What trip did I room with him?
Yeah. Was
That was the GB trip.
that was a GB trip? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was when Melton Papa wasn't able to make it on that one.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so
His health stuff. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I don't even think I'd been to a practice. We hadn't even had a camp yet, and I got that call. I was at work. Got that voicemail.
Because it was early in the season, huh? Like we hadn't had.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. We went there
it
without
was.
practicing. That was
Right.
crazy. I totally forgot that we hadn't even practiced that year yet. Hey,
Yeah.
Mac, you're up.
Come on, Matt, you're coming. It's like you just step it up. It's like, man, talk about nerves right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because I was like I said, I come off D2, and here I am, like,
Yeah.
extreme D1.
Yeah. Yeah. International ball.
Right.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. What about your favorite like club memory moment?
Favorite club memory moment was probably winning the national championships and the MVP that year. That was
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Matty Ice is MVP, dude. That was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming, but that
Yeah.
was one I'll never forget. Just having those both things.
Was
That was
Lars
pretty-
mad? Was Lars mad that he didn't get the MVP of that one?
Yeah, I know, right? Whoever thinks a low pointer ever gets it, it's like, no, actually, he wasn't. He was
No.
Lars. Lars is always, I know, right? Lars has always been very supportive.
Yeah.
And he's actually, you know, helped me transition a lot into that, learning the game a lot better, because he depends on just like any high pointer, mid pointer, on the low pointer.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, hey, we're gonna get wrapped up with some rapid fire questions, but before that, my last question that I have for you is what are your thoughts on like if a new guy's coming in, you're a young Matt Milstead's coming in, and you see him at practice, and like what's that maybe one piece of advice you'd give him starting out playing rugby or starting out trying to figure life out in a chair? What are you gonna say to him?
Yeah, it's funny. We have a couple of those guys that actually come out, practice at Grand Rapids, but just that I always try to build off of their function, like helping them realize, what they got can be completely, helpful for our team. And just, I think trying to give the support to show, that having them around and, bringing them back, letting them know, that, that they, once they continue this, if they continue playing and things like that, that it will, that there's a lot of rewards into playing versus just, practicing. It's also just, building that friendship, that player, teammate. And, I think a lot of players come in feeling like, I'll never forget when I came back and started playing, it was trying to, realize where I was at with my function. I had to work on stuff, but that just being able to, reach out and just have them, continue to come to practice and things like that, I think is important. Really showing us that support, I feel like is where it's at.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a new kid coming into school.
Yeah.
That's
Come
always
alongside,
been,
mentor him. Absolutely.
I feel like if you just kind of show that support, I think it will go a lot. Because I think there's a lot of players that probably just obviously didn't look like they had any skill, but then once you gave them time, it's like, wow, they're going to be a good player.
Yeah, I mean that was 100% me.
Yeah.
2007, 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
And I had size, and that's about it. So
Right.
it takes some great mentors in my rugby career, and you never know how you're going to change a life by being nice to someone, bringing them alongside, and tell them they've been in the key too long. But
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Man,
No.
I knew that was going to come out. It was like, yeah, it was my Joe Delagrave one. We were in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
that's cool. Yeah. I remember that. St. Louis, that's the tournament that, man, I got stuck at they have one of the best food setups. It's all the Midwest tournaments. They had the old mom and pop buffets.
That's all we got,
And
man. We don't have the weather, so we got to
it's
figure out how to make it worthwhile, right?
no, exactly. And I think Scott got mad at me because I had sat in the lunchroom too long, ate a sheet of brownies, came out and played like crap, but
Like
uh,
like you had a brick in your stomach,
I had a brick in myself. Yeah. So
right?
yeah. And he was like, man, you gotta stay away from that. And I was like, this is Midwestern food, man. You can't, this is where it's at.
Right, comfort food, man.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
exactly.
That is definitely true, right? We try to make the food worthwhile.
Yeah.
Always has a
Yeah.
good tournament. It always has good food.
That's like the number one thing on the what are you gonna critique about it? Good food and
Right,
yeah.
good
Um,
bars. Right.
yeah, there you go. All right, hey, so let's wrap it up here. Rapid fire wrap up. What is the most important object you own? Most important object.
Most important object. Oh man. Uh, trying to think. That's a good one.
Yeah, I wonder what your wife would say.
I
What
know,
she
right?
your object is. It's probably our phones for all of us right
I was
now.
gonna say if I say my phones, what is that? You know,
Yeah.
that's I'm always on my phone, but
What
yeah,
do you-
it's
yeah.
what am I saying? My zipper pull, my button hook,
Yeah.
right? My
What do you think the
chair.
most Yeah, there you go. What do you think the most useless major in college is?
Useful?
Most useful, man, yeah. Your
Is that what
car.
you asked? What my most useful tool
Vito, what's up, man?
or what'd you ask?
What do you think the most useless major in college is?
Useless major in college.
Yeah.
I would say, man, this might hurt some
Come on,
folks.
just say it.
Psychology.
Yeah, you always got to do something else after that.
I mean, you just I don't think it's you. I just think you just got to go to college for a long time, you know, if you're going to get into
Hey,
pursuing it.
hey, it's your answer, man. It's rapid fire. It's all good.
Yeah, right.
What job doesn't exist but should?
I feel like I have this constantly. I feel like every time I go to hotels, they're never right for disabled people. Like the mirror's up too high. Like somebody needs to get this right, you know.
I feel like the jobs out there are just not done
Yeah,
well.
I do, but it's like, why
Yeah.
is it every hotel I go to seems like, you know, the bed's way too high, you know,
Can we hey, we want to look
the mirror is up, you
we
know,
want to
so
look good too. We want to see the mirror. Yeah.
I know, right? Or, you know, you can't get under the sink or, you know,
Yeah. A grab bar. They have a grab bar though, so you're good to go.
right, exactly, you know.
It's like the most useless thing for
Couch is way
us.
up high. It's just
Yeah. Hey, what job would you be absolutely horrible at?
uh tree climbing,
There
tree
you go.
cutting.
All right. All right. Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Don't call me for that one.
What's the most impressive thing you know how to do?
As a quad, I would say probably I'm pretty good time a shoe.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
You know, right? It's like
Yeah, it is what it is.
see a 0.5 tie their shoe in a bow.
Yeah.
You know,
They take a picture and send that to the classifiers.
right? I know, right? That's one Eric Chase is like, I want you to show my wife how you do that. She's like an OT or something.
What is something that most people do easily, but you find very difficult? Yeah, Chase. Yeah, there you go. Tie your shoes.
There you go. See. Man, that's another good one.
Yeah.
That most people do easily that I find I struggle with.
You know what I hate in the winter is zipping up my jacket.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true.
Use my teeth and biting and looks
Yeah.
awful.
Oh
It's like,
man, yeah, that is true.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
the worst. It's the
Yeah.
worst in the winter. Okay,
Yeah,
so
definitely jackets with zippers. I'm the worst at.
here we go. Kind of a deep one, kind of, but rapid fire. For the kids.
All right.
All right. So, what career do you hope they pursue, and what career would you never want them to pursue?
Uh, I would say would want them to pursue maybe something engineering, something like
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah.
Not pursue probably
I guess psychology is you probably don't want them to pursue.
psychology. There you go. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing in psychology. It would definitely be. Uh, yeah, that one I'd have a hard time swallowing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, man. Well, hey, right on. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you being on, Matt. Good to hear from you and get to chat a
Absolutely.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out Milstead at Milstead Matt on Instagram. You can
There
check
you
out
go.
USAWR at USAWR. I'm at JDeligrave14. I don't think either of us are on Twitter very much, but JM Milstead. You can maybe ask him what the J stands for at a different
There
time,
you
and
go.
then Twitter at USAWCH Rugby at Joe Delagrave. As always, check out USAWR for more information on USAWR. Thank you guys for tuning in, for your comments, and we'll see you next week with Dave Wilsey. Next week with Dave Wilsey.
There you go.
All right,
Right.
guys. Have a great week.
See you, man.